and join the show. Welcome to NBNR Live. And here we go.
It's no block, no rock.
Boom, I've been pointed at. I've been summoned. You guys were back. Go Big Red indeed.
We took a week off.
No
It doesn't
block.
really happen.
Yeah, it feels like it's been forever.
It really has. Like going from doing one episode a week, sometimes multiple, to no episode for a week was weird.
Yeah.
So
This chair hasn't been sat in a long time. It's a little cold. And I'm warming it back up. This is No Block, No Rock. Season 5, episode 20. Thank you. You guys, one of our main sponsors, Nebraska Brewing Company. I am drinking. That's right. Shut up, guys. Give me s'mores.
oh, that's good.
Listen, like it's a little chilly outside. You need something that'll put some weight on you a little bit. Okay, this give me s'mores. We'll add a few. It'll make you warmer. Okay, during times like this.
Well, and it's like if you have like a campfire and you're busting out the s'mores, that's like s'mores in a can. So
Yeah, once you open
it makes you feel warm.
when you open that thing up, it just feels right.
Yes, that's right. Mike, what do you got?
Well, our guest wanted me to go get him one, so I was like, well, I might as well get myself one. I got the EOS Hefeweizen. It's the best beer at Nebraska Brewing Company. It is world class in every glass. That's the definition. Connor, what you got?
Mike is wrong, per usual.
What is the best one?
The best beer is it's the Pilsner. I sit here and I talk to you every week about
fucking day.
Hey.
I mean, episode.
this. Okay,
Or day.
so here's my thing, and this is why I believe that I am right. Is I sit here every week.
Tell
and I
him.
tell you every week the Pilsner is the best beer. Mike, sometimes he's drinking something different, and it's because he's flaky. He doesn't know what he wants.
Ooh,
He doesn't know what he wants. I know what I want, and it is always the Pilsner. It is the greatest beer.
I just personally like to promote all your beers because we don't just promote Pilsner.
You're
on
a
this
great
show.
salesman. I'll
Thank
give you
you.
that.
I'm
You're
just doing my
great at
job.
what you do.
They pay us.
Yeah.
Just want to let you know, like
We love. And hey, I'm not saying that not all of the beers are great. They are.
your
all
family owns
fantastic.
it, and you're
I'm
shitting
aware.
on the other beers.
I didn't say that. I said that there is one that sits atop of the mountain.
You say flaky. I think I've referred to Mike on a few
boy.
occasions as a wishy-washy fuck.
That is something
Is that
you have
kinda-
here. I am not a wishy-washy.
All right, I got the Pilsner, Mr. Kyle Byers.
Kyle, what would you be drinking if you were drinking?
I'm still on my water kick.
What would you have?
I'd have the EOS Hefeweizen. Are we still doing Underdog?
Yes.
Okay, Underdog Fantasy. If you use code NBNR, you get up to what is it? $1,000
$1,000
in bonus bets.
1,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can literally make money listening to our show.
So you have to deposit $10. Yeah,
Minimum.
Minimum $10, and
You
we
can
get paid.
You can get up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Mike, I know I bring it up every week. It is my favorite segment.
It's not a good segment.
How's your account sitting? Are we still at, what was it, like 34 cents?
Yeah, it's still there.
It's
We haven't-
still there.
we haven't
Mike, you
touched
got to
it.
set a line.
I was on a heater, then I lost a lot,
Hey,
and
yeah.
we're down. And I just haven't put any more money in there yet.
Yeah, your boy, he's breaking 200 now. I got down to like my last $20. We're right back in it, baby.
Yeah.
I've retired. I got a plus 2,000 Travis Hunter to win Heisman bet.
Yeah.
And I've rode it.
That's probably okay.
Sunset.
Kind of
Right off.
I went dead even on the year. Literally, I looked at my DraftKings account. I don't know if we're sponsored by DraftKings, but
We aren't, but
I
it's
was
fine.
I was $7 over. I will take
Nice.
that.
That's a win.
It was-
That is
$7 over.
100% a win.
That was Chick-fil-A fries and a sandwich.
You do not have to answer this, but at plus 2,000 on that Travis Hunter. bet,
Yeah,
how much did you have in that?
I had
You broke it?
$5. I had $5. So that
Okay, so-
100 brought
Yeah.
me over, and I go, you know what? We're packing it up for the year.
That
I go,
is-
we're good.
That is such a moderate gambling year. I can't even talk shit.
my unit's like $5.
Same.
I'm a little. I pepper.
That's
Me
fine.
too.
You
I
pepper
little
away.
Pepper. I just pepper. Man.
Yeah.
I'm just a pepper.
Because if I lose $5, I'm the exact same way. If
Exactly.
I lose $5, I'm like, that's all right.
If I have a bad week, like I bet 40 a week. That's kind of I go $40 a week. If I had a bad week and I lose every bet, which has happened more times than I would like to admit, I'm like, you know what? This is disgusting. And I take like a 2-week break. And then I'm like, man.
I hate myself.
And then I'm like, man, that Calvin Austin anytime touchdown looks great right now. Oh,
Learn in.
See, I
let me throw in a little Wandale Robinson over receiving yards. Let me do that. Let me do a 5 to win 55, and then I hit it, and I'm like, I'm back.
I'm back.
Yeah,
It's like cooking, right? Like we don't even throw habaneros on it. We season as needed.
as needed, salt to taste,
Salt
or
to
like
taste, yeah.
a little future when you need a little future. I got a Connor McDavid to win the Hart Trophy.
Love it.
Future
Great
in there.
name.
I haven't made my Super Bowl future yet, but I think I'm gonna go with the EAGLES Eagles.
Okay, there you
You
go.
think
I gotta, yeah.
out
I
of the
love 'em.
NFC? You don't
I
think
like-
them Lions are there?
I think running the football wins you championships, and I think that they're
got a
just
good
gonna
one.
run the fucking ball.
Cam
And they're
Jurgens is going to
win.
say, "Fuck you, Saquon, get behind me."
Yes.
Have you heard of Jahmyr Gibbs?
No, I know. I love them. I like
course.
the Lions. It's
Have you heard of
obvious, but-
say?
I've heard
We
of
could go tit
Saquon
for tat.
Barkley.
We could. Look, we're at the point in the NFL season where like every team is good, and it's just like it's just pissing to the wind at this point in terms of like who's going now.
So put 5 on every team.
5 on
You
every
won't
team, and
lose.
you could be okay.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
I don't know the odds.
You'd have to do the math there. But no, I like this. I think the NFL is great this year in the regard that like last year before the playoffs began, I could have confidently told you it's going to be San Francisco and Kansas City. I could not confidently tell you who's going to be number one or number like it's probably one of 5 teams at this point,
Well,
which is
because
great.
most years it's like, all right, Chiefs, but you know,
Yeah.
and it's ironic because the Chiefs have done more winning this year, but it's just the way that it's looked, and
You know,
they found a way.
I made one money line bet on the Chiefs in the last 2 years. And it was when they lost to the fucking Buffalo Bills.
Mm.
The one
Oh.
time that they've lost in the last like year and a half, I bet the
You bet
money
it.
line. That's why they call me Mick Mush back at home.
Mick Mush.
Well, hey, that's a perfect segue.
Yeah.
Because we have people watching, listening to us.
Yeah.
And there's a voice that you might not recognize and a face here. It's not Mick Mush.
No, it's
It's-
RJ Mitty, right?
RJ Mitty. Walt Jr. from Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Good
that's
to-
a rough one.
good to have
That was a rough one.
Okay, well, Matt McMaster.
How you doing, guys?
Welcome.
Hi.
Now, Walt Jr. You'll go to his Twitter profile.
Yeah, it is Walt Jr.
Yeah, listen, Breaking Bad's arguably my favorite show.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
No, I
What
haven't
is
watched
wong
it.
with you?
I'm not a TV guy.
I'm
I
not
just-
either,
Yeah,
but-
I don't
Do you
really.
not have
Okay.
Netflix?
No, what I do. I mean, it's my mom's, but I do.
I get it.
He's got it.
Like I have it. I'm just not. I kind of just grew up watching like sports and all that stuff, and I never really got into the whole like TV
Like drama. and-
stock. No, like my dad loves it. My dad's like all into Landman and Tulsa King and like
sure.
Lincoln Lawyer and everything. Like he's all about. I'm not about. I haven't seen Game of Thrones. Haven't seen Breaking Bad. I haven't seen The
Sopranos.
Sopranos. Haven't seen it. Haven't seen The Wire.
all that.
I just watched Goodfellas yesterday. Not a
Yeah.
joke.
Wow.
first
So
time?
for the first time, yeah, we have like a little bit where I'm like, I have things that people on the 1620 The Zone. Gary and Matt, by the way, I'm the host of Gary and Matt.
Yes, he is the host
1620
of Gary and Matt.
At 1620 The Zone. We have a list of like our listeners are like, Matt, you have to like watch this. So Goodfellas was first. Next week will be
Okay.
Godfather, and then the next weekend will be Godfather 2, and then Tombstone. So that's kind of
Tombstone's
Oh my God.
okay.
yeah, that's kind of where we're at right
So-
now. Goodfellas.
Wow.
Your
Yeah.
doppelganger
Yes,
is
Walter.
on a show, and you haven't watched it. That's crazy.
No, I've been told though, Walter Jr. didn't start until freshman year of college. My very good friend Evan Datina was like, "You look like Walter Jr." And I go, "I don't know who that is." And then he showed the picture.
And then
And
you YouTube the scene of Walter Jr.
I'm
and
not
you're
going to
like,
do a Walter Jr. imitation.
Do not do
right
that.
now.
Looks
I will get-
only.
Nope.
Only.
I will not get canceled 2 weeks into being, and not even a week into being in Omaha.
I'll tell you what.
Not
Like,
yet.
If a Walter Jr. impression got you canceled here, it would have been the smallest thing that gets you canceled that's happened on this podcast. So,
Well, okay,
Um,
even if you've never seen Breaking Bad,
Yes.
the thing that Flynn or Walt Jr. is known for is every scene he's in, he's eating breakfast, he's asking about breakfast.
Sure.
It's just breakfast related.
Okay.
What is your go-to breakfast food?
Honey Nut Cheerios, and I really like a ham, mushroom, and cheese omelet.
Ham, mushroom,
Yeah.
That's kind of my go-to.
I like
cheddar, American,
So honestly,
Monterey Jack.
you can kind of do whatever you want
Yeah.
with an omelet. Like I do mozzarella sometimes. I do sharp cheddar. I'm not a medium cheddar. You're either all in and you're all out when it comes to the cheddar, in my opinion.
Don't be wishy-washy.
Yeah, no, you're
When it
either
comes to-
you're either cheddar or you're sharp. There's no such thing as medium cheddar. That's bullshit. No medium cheddar.
Right.
And then or like provolone's a great cheese. American cheese is a great cheese. I just put the cheese in and the mushroom and ham.
so
Famous fan of cheese over there.
What's your
Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
cheese?
He doesn't like
I'm not a
cheese.
cheese guy.
Oh, you're
Hey,
not a
hey,
cheese guy?
No.
But he likes pizza. It's a weird
Yeah.
dynamic with Kyle
He doesn't
and
know
the
what the fuck he
cheese.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or the dipping sauces.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
like tomatoes. Like I'm not a big tomato guy, but I love a tomato on a burger. You
Yeah.
know?
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
that's
it's
With
like the
other
same.
things.
yeah.
yeah,
No, it's all
an
about,
accessory as
Cake.
opposed to like a main.
as I say, KYP, know your personnel. You know, like
Yeah.
a tomato is just great on a piece of meat. You know, really nothing
Yeah.
else.
Coach
Really nothing
Satterfield,
else.
KYP.
KYP,
Know your personnel.
Know your personnel.
And anyway,
So before we got into the show, we were talking just a little bit beforehand. You're a little bit younger than us.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a little bit
and
younger
so-
than everybody.
Yeah.
Apparently.
But you mentioned like immediately one of your top breakfast foods is Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yes.
So when did you realize in your heart that you were a 60-year-old man?
Well, when my dad got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and he
Shit.
needed to get
Well,
low cholesterol cereal, and so we started
Okay.
getting
Wow.
Cheerios.
Yeah, take a bow, Connor.
Yeah.
Makes
So
me
then-
feel real good
So
right
then,
now.
so then we couldn't do like the fruit loops anymore, or the fruity pebbles, or like any of the
Oh.
Cocoa Crisp was out. I loved Reese's Puffs, loved it, gone. So we had to empty the cabinet of all good cereal, and so the only one really remaining was Honey Nut Cheerios, and so I just kind of learned to love it. You just learn to enjoy it.
I
Hear
like
me
honey, and you add your own honey on top of
You
it.
could, yes, I've done that before.
Hear me
Blueberries and Honey Nut Cheerios, great too.
You ever? Oh, I was
That's
gonna
why
say,
you're not
do you ever
drinking.
do like some fresh sliced strawberries on top?
I dude, fresh fruit.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Great.
Like if you're
I'm
going
just-
Cheerios, you gotta have some fruit with it.
Yeah,
Like-
you don't have to, but like you could.
I think legally in
okay.
Nebraska, you
have to.
You're
Is that a law?
required,
See,
yeah.
I'm still learning. You know,
There's a
maritime law
fine.
here in,
Yeah.
in Nebraska.
Skokie guy. Big
Skokie.
Skokie.
Yeah,
Not
Skokie, Illinois.
Chicago.
Not Chicago.
Straight
From Skokie,
So,
Illinois.
yeah, actually, that was another question I wanted to
Yes.
get to. So you mentioned again before the show, Skokie. Some Chicago residents might not consider you
No.
a Chicago resident. I have heard some things about Chicago
Yes.
that I wanted to confirm with you.
Sure.
I heard
Shoot.
that on Christmas in Chicago, the naughty and nice list is a thing. If you're on the naughty list, they give you White Sox season tickets. Is that correct?
I honestly, if I lived close to the stadium, that food there at it's called Rate Field now, but I call it U.S. Cellular Field.
cellular. yeah.
That food there at that stadium, some of the best food in the city. Like, not a joke. Like, they have great barbecue there, great Cuban sandwiches there. They got a lotte off a stick where they just cut it and they make like a lotte. It's incredible. They used to have a place they closed called Walk Off, and it was an Asian place. You can get Asian noodles at a baseball game.
That's
that's
sick.
rad.
WOK.
Yeah,
Walk off.
Walk off. It was insanity. And so, just for that reason, just to eat that food, I'd be cool with White Sox season tickets. But I don't think anyone else would be. I mean,
Nobody
suck.
wants that.
They're 49.5 over under to wins this year, and I'm taking the under.
Okay, so
Horrible.
I am
God.
taking the under.
The worst team of all time last year, right?
yeah,
Technically.
I produced those games. That was my job. I worked at ESPN 1000 as a part-time producer before I came
I am
here.
sorry.
And we were
Wow.
we were the home of the White Sox, and so my job would be to cut up the highlights. There weren't that many, and to cut up the advertisements. And when Len Casper would be like, home runs are brought to you by Hard Rock Casino, but he would you would have to like throw him in there like at the end of the game because they would never hit a homer. You know, like it would be incredible. Like Len Casper is an incredible announcer, but I gained so much more respect for him and his ability to throw in these advertisements that the White Sox just weren't hitting.
Yeah.
Like it would be like
No,
this,
they just weren't hitting.
Like there would be an ad like you know, the first base runner is brought to you by UI Health. It'd be like the 7th inning. And there wouldn't be
A base runner. Yeah,
and Len would be like, and if the White Sox get a base runner here, it's brought to you by UI Health, you know, and like he would just have to throw those. It was incredible. It was
But
incredible.
when your team is that bad, and look, I'm sure I think
Sure.
Len Casper like has a good sense of humor.
He's got a great sense.
He knows the situation. He knows the
Oh,
team's
oh,
terrible.
yeah.
He's gonna
Oh,
spring.
yeah.
He's gonna make it kind of the viewer at home. You're watching this horse shit. Listen, we all know this
It
is
was so
trash.
bad.
So let's have some
It
fun
was
while
so
we're at it.
bad. It was so bad. They would take like they were telling me they're like, yeah, we'll take calls at post game. Like no one wanted to call in.
No.
No one. No.
Not even angry calls at that
That's
point.
you
It's
calling in the
indifferent.
past.
You're
it was
indifferent.
done. It was done. What about you getting angry over the Sox?
Yeah.
Is going to make this any different. They suck, and they're going to suck forever until Jerry decides to sell or you know just is no longer the owner. So
Yeah.
this is what it is. But I'm a Cubs fan, which is probably even worse.
So that actually leads me to my next question.
Yes, Connor.
Covering the White Sox,
Yes.
doing those cuts,
Yeah.
but being a Cubs fan, which stadium serves the better Chicago dog?
Oh, see, I would say overall the food is better at the cell, but the one thing that Wrigley does do right is the Chicago dog. It's probably the only thing that they do right. The food has gotten better there for sure. Used to be awful. Used to be terrible. There was one hot dog stand that was outside of section 118 that was really good. And that was probably the only one that was like eatable at. And like the line to get in there, they would like grill the onions like right there on like the flat top. The line would like ring around like part of the stadium because people only wanted to get a hot dog.
Yeah, because everything else sucks.
Everything else was terrible. Now they've invested, they've done a better job. So I would say I would rather have a hot dog at Wrigley. I would rather have everything else at White Sox Stadium.
Did you know we have a resident hot dog expert?
Yeah,
That would be me.
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good too.
Yeah.
Have you been to Chicago? Do you need spots?
I have been to Chicago,
Okay.
but I prioritized deep dish pizza when I went there.
That's fucking too.
That's a casserole.
I had limited time. I had to stop and get either one.
He's a
and I was
tourist.
like-
Leave him alone.
Yeah, I was there. Anyway, real quick before we kind of get into a couple of comments in here,
B-A-O.
Yeah.
I have to know, Matt, are you a urinal or a trough guy?
I'm a trough guy.
Not my
Thank
dog.
you.
My dog.
I'm a trough guy.
He looked
I
like a
mean,
trough guy.
Mike,
Look,
another win for the home
I
team.
aim yours, you aim mine. It brings us closer together, and we win games.
We all
You
stick
know what I'm
together in
saying?
all kinds of weather.
Do we win games though?
We
I mean,
did. We won the
Look,
Pinstripe Bowl.
there's something. Hey, it's the bad boy mowers Pinstripe Bowl to you, pal.
Hey, no
All
free
right?
plugs. It was a Pinstripe Bowl on this show.
Yeah,
boy.
but
Big
no,
boy.
I'm a big trough guy. I mean, I think a trough brings a fan base together, and they proposed in Wrigley. They were like, all right, we might take them out, and people were like,
Riot.
oh hell no, you won't.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
no,
all
no.
the degenerates and
That's-
sickos said, no, we
No.
must have
No,
the drops.
we are a troughed organization. And
He's
when
an
I came,
anti-trough guy.
when I went into Nebraska, when I went into Memorial Stadium and I saw the troughs, I go, feels like home.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Go, feels like home.
You
Feels
laid
like home.
right down in it, didn't you?
Yeah,
You laid
I
it
did.
right down
I did.
inside of it.
Gather
There's,
all the-
there's nothing better than when you're standing on one side of the trough and there's another guy on the other side of the trough, and there's just that awkward eye to eye, like you're both like, can I look up? Do I look to the right?
Don't
Do I
look
to the
down.
left?
No, it's
Yeah.
just
awkward.
It's,
I'm going in.
just right here.
Oh,
You just
yeah.
keep it right there. Just you and me. We're right here.
Hey, Kyle.
Yeah.
Watch
Hey,
me.
for the record, I'm a urinal guy. But you know what? The more you guys want to gather around
That's right.
the children next to the troughs,
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep.
be my guest.
Well, I mean, that's what you. This is the world that you want.
Yeah, this is
You
what
fucking
you want.
sickos.
Hey,
I think he's correct. Troughs are just gritty. Chicago's
Gritty.
a gritty city.
Gritty.
Uh,
Nebraska's a gritty state.
I mean, you're at a urinal. It's so much harder. My favorite joke is to just stare across from somebody that's
Yeah.
next to me.
Yeah.
And you say, it's not normally this small. It's just cold out. That, like,
yeah,
one
I'm
out
not,
of 10
I'm gonna be
times
honest
gets a
with you.
laugh.
I'm not opening my mouth.
Well,
in a
oh,
do I do?
bathroom.
He does.
I'm
He
not
does.
Every
I'm not
time.
really making small talk. As in, like, if
I
you were to
know.
talk to me, at a urinal, I'd be like, oh, okay, guy.
Well, that's at a
Like,
urinal. We're talking troughs right now.
Yeah.
Troughs,
Either
that's a
or.
community.
I mean,
we're becoming friends.
it's an unspoken community. You don't really need.
Thank
you don't
you.
really need to
Thank you.
say anything. in order to communicate the fact that we're all in this together. You know,
I love it.
All right.
Non-verbal. Anyway, don't
Yeah.
be weird.
don't
God,
be weird.
Don't be weird.
This is
That's
why I'm
all I
Hero
do.
guy,
You guys
'cause of
know
people
me.
like you fucking sickos out there, man.
Yeah.
God, Kyle, comments.
Yes. Okay. So we've got $5 from BA. Appreciate you, sir.
Hey.
He says, happy 2025 to NBNR. This is like two worlds of my sports shows crossing over like the Avengers or some shit. GBR, and glad this episode is happening. And then we've just got some topics that people want us to talk about, but I think we'll start with the Pinstripe Bowl. We really haven't
Yes.
talked about it because we've been out for the
we
last
took a week off.
We really celebrated. We had a good time. We did not go to New York.
Yeah,
But-
we couldn't afford it. We don't have enough sponsors, so if you're,
BA,
You know
keep
anybody that
dropping
wants
those $5. We'll
Yeah.
get there in a couple
Yeah.
of years.
it's 3,000 ahead. So BA, we're gonna need a couple more of those. So.
Yeah. So I think the conclusion that we can come to is that there is a God. Nebraska football is above 500 this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh.
I've never known anything other than being a loser.
Right, because so you were a student
shit,
there,
yeah.
and then you probably
Losing.
never had a winning season while you were in
No,
college there,
no,
right?
You don't have to rub it in, Mike.
I was just checking,
Never occurred. Never happened. I think I did the math. The only other like classes that would have been worse in terms of like winning percentage would have been like in the 60s or 50s,
Yeah.
like before
Before Devaney. Yeah.
before Devaney. And then like I did do the other math too, where it was like, well, actually, like the year after or the year before me actually has a worse winning percentage than my year because somehow they were even worse in whatever. Yeah,
It's
just
hard.
bullshit.
It's hard to really parse. I mean,
So
definitely not a Pelini year, but
The entire time you were at the school,
They sucked.
the coach was it former head coach Scott?
It was. Oh,
We don't get to say that word.
say
here.
that.
oh, we don't say that.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
was
you
it?
can try
Go
again.
ahead.
Go ahead.
What
Try
did
again.
you
Scott
just
Frost. Well, you missed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You gotta be-
Scott.
Okay,
There you go, yeah. He'll just hold it down.
you blinked the
Yeah.
first name too.
Yeah, I know. But I'll say this. I'll tell. I know this is kind of a tangent here, but I have a good story. A good story here. It's my freshman year, and I'm at a school, or I'm in a class, and the class goes. This guy's talking to him. His name is Ryan Kaufman. He's a really good teacher. And Ryan goes, it's like everyone here, it's like, who's always the preseason champions before the season begins? Who do we always think is going to win the national championship before the season starts? And everyone goes, Nebraska. And so everyone said that. I go, really?
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, it's not like, look at the rock. Like, there's not a lot going here. Like, what do you mean? Like, every year this school thinks that they're going to be really good. I was like, it's kind of obvious that they're not going to be that great. And then as the years went on, I go, I know what Ryan was talking about. Like I even fell into it. I think in 2022, 2021, 2022, and 2023, I predicted, and I was a media member, and this was my job, and I read everything and watched everything, went to the press conferences, and I go, 9 wins, 8 wins.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
All 3 years. And I'm like, it's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah, but they were bad in my 4 years. So the hell is frozen over. Hell is frozen over, and Nebraska football is over 500.
There's always something that you can latch onto. There's always a narrative,
Yes.
or a new player, or a new
Yes.
coach that you hold, you depend on to. Yes, that's the person that gives me hope. And yeah, most of the time,
I thought O'Shawn Mathis was going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
yeah.
I mean,
O'Shawn
yeah.
Mathis.
I thought
his
I
mom
thought-
has a cool Twitter page.
I thought he was going to be, and
man.
O'Shawn was pretty good. Like
He was
O'Shawn wasn't
fine.
bad.
He
He was a
was
fine player,
fine.
but like
Played
getting
for
into
the
the year,
Rams.
you would have thought he was going to be Lawrence Taylor with how they were talking. I mean, it was the hype going in was incredible.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
like that's on the topic of the amount of changes that we have seen in the last 10 years
Yes.
across this football program. That's
Wild.
why you win the offseason national championship, is because every year there's some sort of giant change.
Yes.
And everybody's like, okay,
This
they'll
is
fix
it.
us. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll be it.
That's a great way of looking at it.
So, Jared, maybe triumphs and traumas of the bowl game.
we got to go back a little bit, right?
Yeah.
We got to get back in that mindset of, okay, the Pinstripe Bowl happens. Nebraska wants to lose.
They tried.
They tried, my God.
They gave their best effort.
But, they made it a one-score win, even though it shouldn't have been. So you think back, let's just focus on offense right now. Like, Holgerson has, like, ample time to prepare with DR as QB1. Like, he has a lot of time to prep. What is the takeaway from this game against Boston College? Like, what was different under Holgorsen with this game that you can extrapolate to next year?
I think I might speak for everyone here. And I think we talked during the game. The deep ball was thrown a whole lot more.
It was.
Yeah.
And so that people might disagree with me. I find concerning. I don't think that's what the Big Ten is. I don't think that's how you're going to win those big games in the Big Ten. You see a couple of them, and you're looking maybe at like Ohio State and Oregon right now in the Big Ten that are throwing those deep balls and winning games.
Well, there goes Jeremiah Smith. There he goes again. Yeah, we have a ton of those guys at Nebraska, don't we?
Yeah.
LOL.
So if we're talking, and I have a lot more to talk about this game, but I want to leave it to this topic specifically. Yeah. If we're talking one big takeaway of what we saw in that game on offense, it's the deep ball. I saw way too much of it.
Okay. Well, what I'll say about that is DR went 22 for 30 in that game. So you have to assume, let's say we saw 5 like true deep balls, right? Mm-hmm. That means that those are 5 incompletions plus 3.
He completed 1 to the first one of the day.
First one.
To Jamal Banks.
Yep.
And then after that,
nothing.
Well, Jamal Banks caught another one, but it got called back because they had his headgear, and then we had the headgear on the line. They didn't call it.
Yeah.
I think you remembered that.
But what I'm saying is if the deep ball is, I guess, paired up with 22 for 30, if they're all underneath routes and he's got that kind of percentage, like I'm okay with the every once in a while deep ball. And as he gets older, he'll get better at it. His stats will get better a little bit, hopefully in the deep ball area. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, there were a lot of deep balls, but it wasn't like we saw 20 attempts at him trying to throw it 30 yards and he's just, missing everything. It was really just paired up with a lot of underneath routes.
I think that's super fair. I'm just like, it seems like such a high increase from a team that we just hadn't seen that out of recently.
Well, yeah, because under Sat, what did you see? A shit ton of
screens and swings.
Screens, right? And so, Raiola in the deep ball this year, it wasn't good.
Well,
how many times
did we
DPI?
It was the best play for us for the first part of the year. Yeah. And then we didn't get those defensive pass interference calls the rest of the year.
Yeah. You're talking specifically about Purdue.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Purdue.
Hey, we needed all those DPIs.
Yeah.
No shit.
We did. But, did you know, what about the offense?
Yeah.
Did you either like or dislike that we can apply to next year?
The thing that I like the most is that Dylan's just getting the ball out quicker. It's just a lot quicker. I think that Dana kind of came into, and said to him, look, like, there were moments, especially in the Indiana game, where he was looking away from shorter routes, looking for that big shot, looking for the deep ball. And I think it was very evident, especially in that first drive against USC, where he was just putting the ball on Banks. And it was just two-step hit. And so I think the quickness I've noticed from Dylan, and I think it's been really good coaching from Dana. And I think that's just, I think with Satterfield, in his mind, he was like, all right, if we're going to get 4 yards, we're going to run the ball. Where with Dana, he goes, well, we can get 4 yards passing the ball too. That's totally okay. We can do these quick hitches. We can do these slants. And so the ball's coming out quicker. Obviously, EJ is getting used at a much higher rate than he was before. I think the O-line in that game against Boston College, granted, their best defensive lineman was out, but they looked really, really good too. But I think that's just my number one thing with Dylan under Dana. Things have been quicker. He's been smoother in the pocket. He's been more willing to run. The presence has been great. Back to the deep ball, I think it was six deep throws. They need that. They need to do that. And I'm not necessarily worried about their style of play in regards to the Big Ten, because I see Dana using these tight ends, and I'm like, okay, he gets it. He knows that he's going to have to use 2 or 3 tight ends in order to win, in order to cultivate that type of offense and have that multiplicity in order to confuse defenses in the Big Ten. So I'm loving how they're using Lindenmeyer. Yep. I'm loving how they're using Heinrich Harburg. Fedoni is a loss. I mean, he had 5 receptions for 50 yards. I know the guy gets a lot of flack, but I thought he looked really good in that game. And
probably the best he's looked in a while.
Yeah. So I loved everything I saw from the offense, other than the fact that they just got to score more points.
They just got to score more.
They just got to score more. I mean, it's just, and I think that'll come with it. Like, I just think like they were so barren at the point where it's like they weren't even moving the ball with Satterfield at the end. So the fact that they're even just moving the ball now and getting themselves in position to score is a win. It'll now be, all right, how do we put that ball in the end zone?
Right.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, anything about the offense that you liked or disliked?
I mean, I like just like the physicality. Like
Yeah.
I think the offensive line got to push the entire time. And I know that Boston College didn't have a couple guys, but like that O-line, people can say what they want about the O-line. They played well all year. And I think with Holgorsen, people are nervous about the air raid and too many deep balls and this and that. But like he did focus on the run game. Like he did make that an initiative was to run the ball. And you knew that Ramiro was going to score at some point. He was at home. He was going to score. I mean,
The storybook was opening up.
yeah,
Oh,
it was there, but he was running hard, and he was the one that got the game-winning run to finish up the game. So I would just say I liked the way that the physicality of the offense played. And imagine this team with an entire offseason of Dana being able to install, tweak, whatever he wants to do with this offense. I think it sits really well.
Imagine a whole offseason.
I think that's
Dana?
so bullshit. I'm
What?
sorry.
What?
I hate it. I
Go.
hate the whole imagine a whole off season.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine because I've heard it so, and it's not against you, Mike.
No.
It's everybody who says it. It's just like I've seen it so many times where it's like imagine like what they're going to do with a bye week. Imagine what they're going to do with an off.
But here's the
imagine,
difference.
Imagine what they're going to do in spring ball. Like
Here's the difference, McMush.
yeah, give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
No. Absolutely. Your point about the past.
Yes.
Not great.
Not great.
bad. The Kool-Aid drinking has resulted in us throwing it back up. I don't know, being poisoned by it.
That's why we just don't do that on the show.
That's right.
Yeah.
But here's the difference, and this is maybe where we start to sip the Kool-Aid a little bit. Is
Sure.
maybe the coordinator that they have is a lot better than the ones that they've had in the past.
Sure.
And we can actually have like, wow, we have a competent dude who's done it for many years.
Yeah, you could say
You
the
know-
same thing about Mark Whipple, though. I mean,
Sure.
that's
we would.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
we
probably
did.
what we were
We did.
saying
Yeah.
beforehand. And like you got to remember what we were saying about Satterfield last year. The convo about Satterfield last year was, well, imagine if he doesn't have all the injuries. Imagine when he's got an actual quarterback.
Some
imagine,
people said that.
Imagine when he's got weapons and we can actually see what his offense looks like. That I
Right,
mean, there's always going to be a way that like you're going to spin it. I don't mean to like totally shut down the conversation here, but it really just comes down to like whether or not Dylan gets better. Like
No, yeah,
the
Dylan
whole-
has to get better.
That the whole
No doubt.
season just comes down to whether or not he takes the next step, and if he does, then they're going to win. They are going to win. If he doesn't, I guess your floor is 6-6, 7-6, and it sucks.
And that can't happen.
It can't happen again.
I think as we talk about, imagine what can happen off an off season or off a bye week.
Sure.
I don't really think we have to, because what was it? 5 weeks in a row, we faced teams that are beatable. They were coming off a bye week, and what do they do to Nebraska almost every week out of those 5 weeks, aside from Wisconsin?
Win.
They won.
Yeah.
It is something that we don't have to imagine. We know that when we're going into a team that's coming off a bye week, they likely have an advantage. Nebraska obviously just ran down a stretch where that wasn't the case for them.
Yeah.
Nebraska just didn't, in my opinion, and someone can tell me I'm wrong, didn't have the correct people in the correct places to help that work.
Sure.
I just think they were playing bad football too. Like I think that's part of it.
Yes, Nebraska's like the talent's never been the issue.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
At least,
you're at no. He's right. I mean, it hasn't been. I mean, Frost top 25 classes every single year.
Yeah.
The problem was not
It's
bringing
coaching.
in the talent. It was so. Brett Ciancia writes Pick Six previews. He's got this great stat where it's like a player development stat. Basically, it takes what your average ranking is in terms of recruiting classes and how many of those guys end up being transferred into draft picks. Nebraska was dead last. Okay, they just couldn't develop guys, which is why like. It's not about the talent. It's always been about the coaching, which is why, and I don't know how you guys feel, like the fact that he's now hiring based off of merit is like, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
yeah, because
What have we said? Big boy programs.
Make big boy hire.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we can probably get into special teams.
Well,
But,
yeah,
like-
we'll definitely get into that.
But yes, the recruiting classes and all that. There's definitely been enough talent to not go fucking 3-9.
Yeah.
Figure it out, Jesus Christ, and not go to a bowl for 8.
It's embarrassing.
Come on,
That was
people.
embarrassing.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, our boy Sean is in the chat, and he says we got an OT transfer portal, Elijah Pritchett out of Alabama.
Oh,
It's a
boom, boom, boom.
Fong bomb.
Am
There
I
you go.
the only one that does not like this?
Gary
So-
said it this morning.
Did Gary
Yeah,
say it
Is
too?
that-
yeah.
Is that the one that's 6'6"?
he started 3 games at Alabama. So he has started games.
I thought he started a lot more games than that. I thought he started almost the whole year for Caden Proctor.
Okay. Well, I
I'm
just know
pretty
that
sure.
he started multiple games at left tackle and right tackle. I'm sorry.
I hear you.
You can poo-poo it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with getting an offensive line out of the portal. Like
Yeah.
we know what the room is that we have right now. We have Turner Corcoran potentially coming back. You have Teddy Prohaska, who has never stayed healthy. And then you've got a bunch of young guys. Grant Bricks, whatever else. I don't really know what's behind there. I guess we've got Gunnar Gatula, who was serviceable at times. They also rotated him out for a guard to play the tackle most of the time. So, like, I am cool with it. We'll see what happens. We're talking about development, right?
Yeah.
Right. And Matt Rule is known as a developer. And the lack that Nebraska has had in recent years is retention and development. They didn't retain the guys that they had, the Wando Robinsons of the world. I mean, you could even say the Adrian Martinez's who ended up flourishing at Kansas State. Right?
Yeah.
So you get these guys into your program that are talented as hell that were not getting used properly or not being developed properly.
Yeah.
And to go get a guy from Alabama who actually played. He's not Jacob Hood. He actually played, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know you like to use Jacob Hood.
I
so
like to use
this,
Jacob.
this is not Jacob Hood.
Right.
I feel
So,
gross.
I like it.
I feel gross, but I
feel gross. Just end there.
Just end there.
Yeah.
Period. Put it on a shirt.
I have to agree with Mike that the offensive line is not really a unit that we can stand to be, holier than thou on. Any addition that can give us a benefit right now, I need right now.
I hope he can provide that benefit for you bring him in if he sticks through the mat drills and all that shit and he's still here and he's all in, fine. But I'm not going off the PFF thing. It's just
That's fair.
you hear things about like buy-in and stuff. And I know buy-in's a buzzword, but
The thing is that those programs, your Georgias, your Alabamas, if they don't want a guy to leave, that guy ain't leave.
Yeah.
You
guys
know,
talked about it today.
that's just one of those things where it's like if they're willing to let him go, there's probably something behind the curtain. And this is a program though. They're willing to take risks, and it's like you need dudes. Guy's a dude. He's talented. He's a talented guy. He's everything you want in a tackle in terms of height and physicality and strength. He's been there. He's done that. Here's another thing too. They've struck out everywhere else.
Yep.
They've failed. They didn't get Tross. They didn't get Isaiah World. They didn't get the kid.
They didn't get Walter Rouse.
That was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but
that was
still,
bullshit.
That was
the
stupid.
Wake Forest dude.
Yeah, he just went to the Washington State guy. Just went to Wake Forest. Like they didn't get anybody. And man, like offensive tackle is one of those positions in the portal where it's going to be every year. It's going to be a goddamn like just absolute war trying to get these guys. I mean, it's very wide receivers a market. You can get a lot of wide receivers in the portal.
Oh yeah.
You cannot get a lot of tackles in the portal.
Well, it's just like the NFL, the highest paid positions.
Absolutely.
Your blindside blocker, left tackle.
Yeah.
For most quarterbacks, and then your quarterback. So those portal acquisitions are going to be the big ones. Parker sat here last week and said that Oklahoma paid a lot of money for their quarterback.
Yeah.
And now they don't really have a lot of money to spend on everything else.
Sure.
So can I give you a horrible comparison, but
Give it
one
to
I
me.
feel like is somewhat appropriate in this circumstance? You said a school like Alabama, Georgia, if they don't want a guy to leave, they're not going to.
For the most part, yeah.
So in this context, I'm talking about a commit.
Sure.
And one that you can still win. Dylan Raiola.
Good point.
Committed to Georgia.
Yeah.
We go into the quarterfinals of the college football playoff, and Georgia, Carson Beck has an arm surgery, 2 weeks prior.
Sure.
And they start Gunnar Stockton against Notre Dame. It's his first collegiate career start.
He didn't.
In that situation, is Gunnar Stockton a better start than Dylan Raiola? Is that not a guy that Georgia could afford to lose? I think that
But
is
Dylan
one of
wanted
those
to play. I think that was the difference.
I mean, there's differences and there's
No, that's
obviously
why I
it's
said
not
it's a
an
horrible
end-all, be-all.
comparison.
No, it's not. But it's like a better argument would be like, look at Caleb Downs. Like I'm sure Alabama didn't want Caleb Downs going to Ohio State, and those things just kind of happen. But especially like late in the portal, and then like him, I don't know. There's definitely something behind that curtain when it comes to him, or at least it seems like it is.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's Donnie Raiola. I love Don. My Twitter bio is conductor of the Donovan Raiola train. Like Raiola
Choo choo,
train.
motherfucker.
I love it. I love him. I trust him. So like I will always be impartial to what Donnie does.
Yeah.
Like if Donnie thinks it's good, I think it's good too. Like,
What does
I'll take
Donnie
it.
want?
What does Donnie want? Donnie gets. Like, that guy is an elite offensive line coach, and he comes from an elite offensive line coaching tree in Harry Heastan, who's probably one of the greatest offensive line coaches ever. And so it's
You're
like,
throwing the word elite out there.
I mean, he's an elite offensive
Okay.
line coach. I mean, there has been no one who's made chicken salad out of chicken shit more than Donovan Raiola. And that's no offense to the guys that he had in his room, but based on what they were doing prior to his arrival, all of those guys have taken jumps to the point. Look, we got
Number 54.
Number 54, baby.
Ben Hart went from being the joke of the team to like, man, like this guy's a legitimate, like good, serviceable, potential NFL tackle.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and like Teddy, before he got hurt, also took a jump like that. And like, look at Justin Evans. He's another dude who was like, people watching, they're like, he's too small to play offensive line. And then he
No.
had a pretty solid
baller.
year. And the offense, I mean, the guy knows how to coach offensive linemen, and he knows how to connect with his players. I've talked to those guys on the offensive line. I've never heard one bad thing about Donnie. All I've ever heard is how much they love him, how much they learn from him, how much they're understanding the system in which they're teaching him. So yeah, obviously when there's a guy like Pritchard who comes in, who I'm pretty sure he didn't play all the games at the end of the year, and he's essentially allowed to leave and, you know, leave Alabama and whatnot. And there might be things around the curtain. Like, yeah, that's reason for concern. But at the same time, when you got a backstop like Donovan Raiola coaching your offensive line, I'm okay with it. I'm fine. I just trust him.
Well, and Donnie just dealt with Mazuka.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
saying. He just dealt
Yeah.
with a guy like Mazuka and was
Sure.
able to kind of bring him in,
Yeah.
even through all the trials and tribulations. And
he's
figure
still,
it out.
you know, Michael, when he was playing, was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't a world beater, but he was pretty decent. So yeah, I mean,
Really good
it's
guard.
a big get. They need to get it. I mean, they just needed to get a tackle. They just needed
Yeah, they
to have
did.
that happen.
That was, and look, their portal additions so far
they've
have
been
been
money.
pretty damn good.
Yes.
Okay, and yeah, maybe some of it is Kool-Aid, and a lot of it is we just haven't seen these guys play in a Husker uniform yet.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we have the most hopeful, you know, sunglasses, or you know, those
Rose-colored glasses.
There you go, rose-colored.
Do you
There
want
you
to?
If there's something, you know, we, like you just mentioned, like we've never seen these guys play in a Nebraska uniform yet. If there's one kind of like solace that I can find is like, I think about Dane Key and what's the other guy from Kentucky?
Hardly.
Yeah.
Hardly.
Yeah. Hardly.
Gilmore.
Hardly Gilmore. Yeah.
And Isaiah Hunter from Cal.
Exactly.
That's
so,
big time.
so you think like, okay, let's think back, imagination sound, go back in time for preseason this year, right? The off season. And we're talking about Jamal Banks, and he's like, oh, he's going to be great. He's going to be the leader of the wide receiver.
Body.
Sure. But at one point in the season, we had criticized him for his
milk
perimeter
carton.
blocking.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you see our guy, our offensive coordinator, come in, and he's like, hey, you know what? I don't know why you guys aren't blocking well.
Yeah.
You're huge, right?
What the fuck's
So
wrong
if
with
there's
you?
any sort of solace, is like, I haven't seen these guys play, but we did see a jump in production and well-roundedness in like Jamal Banks as soon as we got Dana in the building.
A competent
Yeah.
OC.
Big
Yeah.
boy programs make big boy hires. And I would like to think that the wide receivers coach that Dana handpicked is a lot better than Wonder Child that we had. I mean, I'm just saying.
they were pissed in Kentucky when
Oh, yeah.
Dekeel,
Yeah.
when Dekeel left, they went to the podium and they were like, why was there a buyout?
Yeah.
Why could he get bought out by Nebraska? And like, why was he able to be lured over there? And then they took, I mean, Hardly Gilmore's a guy where Kentucky, they tried to keep him.
Yep.
They're like, they wanted him around. They're like, dude, that guy had 6 catches or 7 catches and averaged 25 yards a catch. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, so look, back to Dekeel. I love the hire. I love the hire with Dana. It's been interesting to see, I think, in just a well-rounded point, that the transition that Matt's had in his coaching staff.
Oh, yeah.
I think the first go around, it was more about, I need to bring in guys here who I know, who have either coached with me before or played with me before, not because we need to be the absolute best or we have to win all these games, because we need to first set a culture. I need guys in my coaching staff who know what I'm looking for. I need guys who understand the standard. I need guys who can communicate to everybody else, to all the support staff and all the workers who I'm not fully bringing. I mean, they kept a lot of those people who've been in other regimes before. I need people who can communicate, hey, this is how a Matt Rule program is run. Now that that's been established, now that there's a legitimate culture at Nebraska, he's shifted to, okay, these guys have either resigned or they've been fired or they've been let go or they've moved on. Now I'm going to go and hire dudes where I'm like, okay, we're going to get the absolute best because the culture is set, and now we just need dudes who are going to help us win. And like Shorts is that, Holgerson is that, Williams is that, Terry Braden was I fucking love the Terry Braden hire. Like I think all these hires that he's made, it's been a lot of the dudes that he was getting before hadn't really had their own room before.
Right.
Now a lot of these dudes have had their own room. They've had done it before. They have been in the trenches. And now it's like you thought the player development, was lacking or was better or was whatever your opinion on it was before. I think it's just going to get better because they have more guys who've done it before.
So do you want to see me light a chat room on fire?
Oh, boy.
Go ahead.
Sorry. The only thing that concerns me with these guys out of Kentucky and now out of Alabama is these SEC guys coming to play in an elite conference. The Big Ten is better than the SEC this year. You can say I'm wrong. You would be incorrect to say that. The Big Ten is better this year than the SEC.
And last year.
I
and
don't think
last
it was
year.
from a pass catching or like pass defending standpoint. It was just more from like a run. I mean, look, the Tennessee had no shot stopping the run game.
They were also
against-
so overrated. Tennessee
were.
had played nobody. Their non-con was a joke. They
They
beat.
lost to
Mike,
Arkansas.
you can say that about the entire SEC. I will not respect an SEC schedule until they play a ninth conference game.
Did you see them with their shirts off, like doing the warm up? See, some people were like, "Oh, this is like BS." Like they're trying to prove they're cool by having their shirts off, practicing in the cold. I looked at them. I go, "You guys are fat." Like, they were, like, yes, I mean, they got these guys are 22, 23-year-old men. They got like 29% body fat. I'm like, good God. Like, what are they feeding them in Knoxville? Like, what is the program over there? I mean, there was a lot of dad bods like out on that field.
Dude, I have a chance.
I
can play for Tennessee.
I could walk right in the middle and fit in.
I was concerned. I was like, there was a lot of blubbering going around when they were doing the bands and everything like that. I mean, it was. I don't know if maybe they're going to get a new strength and conditioning coach, or it was just a bad look for them.
They might lose their special teams coordinator too. So
yeah,
hey, they can have
that's a
Ed
name.
Foley.
That's one hell of a segue.
So so on that we've got so we've got $5 from BA.
Shout out BA.
He says Matt McMaster for special teams coordinator. He is famously a pretty big fan of the previous coordinator. I am willing to help him out.
No.
He says no.
Couldn't stand him. I'm kidding. Ed Foley. We'll just get into it.
Okay.
Do it.
Well, we actually have something else that goes with this.
Okay.
Before we get going.
Okay.
Adam Halperin with a $49.99 super chat.
Holy shit.
Thanks,
you.
dude. We appreciate you. He says it's
Love
nice to finally have a head coach that is actually making moves to fix problems. So with that, we can move into fixing problems.
Fixing problems.
Edward Foley.
Oh.
Edward Foley is a great man. He's a really nice guy.
No doubt.
I've talked to him. I mean, very briefly, but everyone else that I've known that I've talked to him that I know personally that has conversations with him has nothing but great things to say. Okay. And I do think, and I will continue to say it, there is a benefit to having him in and around the program.
Yeah,
As
for
some
sure.
sort of analyst, because some sort of football dude. The guy's been around the game for so very long. He's a positive human being. He's a great ambassador for football in terms of the state.
But
He's terrible at special teams. He is a fucking awful special teams coordinator. For 2 years, they were one of the worst. They were
fucking awful.
Fucking awful.
Just get to the fucking.
For 2 years, they were one of the worst special teams unit in the country.
Oh, you want to
They
know
lost-
efficiency?
They lost multiple games just because of special teams.
Nebraska finished 83rd in special teams efficiency in the country.
Yeah,
83rd is better than I thought.
83rd,
Yeah.
and that's
they were dead last in field goal percentage last year.
Oh,
I mean, amongst qualified kickers, they're in the hundreds in this year and last year in kick return average and punt return average. I think they had like 15 returns for 70 yards or 75 yards.
I can't believe it was 15 returns.
It was, and I think one of them was like just because Ja'Cory Barney had a really long one, and that was like most of it.
Yeah, well, and then
Like-
last year it was Emmett Johnson in Minnesota.
Yes,
he had a long
He
one.
had a long one.
Ramir had a long
I
one.
remember Matt Rule going before that game being like, we're going to be dynamic on special teams. We're going to make special teams a weapon. Oops. Yeah, it's been a terrible unit. conducted by him. He's the head man. He's got to be the one responsible for it. And if they didn't fire him, I would have questioned how serious of a program it was. I would have.
Same.
I said I said on the air, I go, if they don't fire this guy, it's a mom and pop shop, and you can't tell me anything different.
Yeah.
But they did it. They needed to do it. I really do hope he's still around the program
He still is currently.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's great. He just not special teams coordinator. You had 2 years. You had your opportunity. Man, it's life. I'm sure at some point I'm going to get fired in something in broadcasting because I didn't do the job. That's going to happen. And so it didn't work out. It's a weird situation to be in because it's like, who the fuck are they going to hire? Like, I don't know a name or anything like that. Or there's not like a hot name on the block.
I hope it's Mike Eckler. That'd be cool.
Sure.
Bring
Mike
it back to
Eckler
Nebraska.
is my number one.
Yeah.
He was already on the staff with Bo Pelini.
You only know him. You only know him because he's a Nebraska guy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I get that, but I will
Nobody knows.
Go.
I'm not saying I would hate.
Do it.
I'm not saying I would hate the hire. I'm just saying that's the only reason why we know who he is.
Hold on. Jared, you're saying we
Are you anti-Nebraska, Jared? Are you an anti-Nebraska guy? Is that what you're saying?
Nebraska.
You hate
Hates him.
Nebraska?
No.
Look at his shirt.
You say that Mike and I are only over here saying Mike Eckler because he's a Nebraska guy.
Yes, I think that's the only reason why you know him. Yes.
So Tennessee finished
who is-
8th in the country in special teams.
Perfect. But
so
you would
we've
not
seen
have
results.
never known that
But
if it
hold on.
was a Mike Eckler.
I want to ask you,
Yes.
aside from our suggestion, who's yours?
I don't. That's
Oh,
my
can I-
point.
can I
That's
help
my
you?
point.
Can I help?
Bush.
I can help you. I can help you.
Oh God.
I have this. Okay. So there's this guy named Drew Cannon over at James Madison University. Okay. He was a special teams coordinator at Holy Cross for like 6 years, and they had a
Powerhouse.
really good special teams program at Holy Cross. He goes to James Madison. They had a really good special teams program at James Madison. I'm not saying to hire Drew Cannon.
Yes,
Okay?
you are.
What I'm saying is that whoever they hire, I would like them to have the resume of a Drew Cannon.
This guy in his Twitter drafts, you know what he's got? Hashtag fire the cannon or something.
Yeah,
You got it. You got it.
Oh,
He's
that'd
got
be great.
graphics
That'd
already
be great.
pre-made.
So
No,
someone with that similar resume.
Yeah, someone who
Built it
went to like a smaller school, has been a special teams coordinator for an extended period of time. I don't want a special teams coordinator from a Power 5 team though.
But
Because to me, it's like you got the athletes, you got like the dudes, you have like the speed and like the talent and ability to recruit like good punters and like kickers. I want a sloppy sicko special teams coordinator who's had like a really good unit
Sloppy
in
sicko.
a sloppy sicko. Like, oh my God, like I had no clue Kennesaw State had a really good special teams unit. Like that's what I want
A coach that has made chicken salad.
out of chicken shit.
Okay. Instead of Mike Eckler, who probably has the best athletes in the world.
Can I come back
They
to
have
an
a good punter.
argument that we already made and agreed upon in this episode about how talent at Nebraska has never been the issue?
Good point.
I don't know that we don't have chicken shit here. We've had chicken shit coaching.
Well, James, man, we're just talking about James.
I think
LeVar Woods.
you're pulling a guy.
LeVar Woods.
Please
I'll take LeVar Woods.
take
How
the
about
best.
that?
Take the best.
Is that the Iowa guy?
Yeah.
That's the Iowa guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take that guy.
Yes.
It would
Does
tickle my
Torrey
heart
Taylor
to
still
go
have
get him.
eligibility?
Yeah.
Can he come back?
Is that a rivalry, Iowa? Is that really?
Oh,
or
for
like,
sure.
is it there?
Yes.
Is it
Okay.
there?
Yeah, fuck
If
Iowa.
you're talking
Fuck Iowa.
currently,
Good. I'm glad we're
yes.
there. I
Yeah.
feel
No,
like
we're
it-
there.
No, we're there.
We've been
We're
there.
now.
We've
been
been
I
there.
think it took a little bit while on the campus to be like
Oh no.
Yeah.
fuck Iowa,
No,
but I
fuck
think
Iowa.
we're there now, which
Yeah.
is good.
We
We
are.
need
I
that.
guess-
We need that as a.
We need a rival.
Nebraska needs that as a program.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep going with your hire LeVar Woods. Yes.
No, fuck LeVar Woods. I mean, not fuck LeVar Woods.
Wow.
I
What
would
do you
take
got
that.
against
I would take
LeVar
that.
Woods?
I would say
how's
how's
that?
that?
How dare you say that about a future Nebraska coach?
No, but what I'm saying is, you see a guy in the SEC, like what do we say, number 8 in special teams
Yeah,
efficiency.
Mike Eckler.
Yeah,
Cool.
You look at that. We understand the talent's not the issue. It's just been the coaching. I think Mike Eckler, if you brought him in, you're not getting a top 8.
I'm gonna get him. Hey,
You're going to get top 15.
hey, let me ask you guys this. You say number 8, yes? Cool. Who's
Yeah.
number 1? Who's number 1?
Somebody who we can't afford and isn't willing to leave
We can't
their job.
afford. Oh, I thought we had money.
Somebody
Okay,
who's
who's
not
number
willing
2? Again, you guys don't know who these coaches
sorry.
are because you only know who Mike Eckler is. because he's-
I'm on the
Hold
side
on.
of Jared here. I mean,
Well,
it's
no.
just.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm
Hold
going
on.
to tell you
I'm
something
not
right now.
saying
You're
anything
saying
crazy.
Hold on. No, you're saying who's number 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so like
Maybe LeVar Woods.
If Matt Rule has a bad season, maybe I call Dan Lanning or Kirby Smart or Ryan Day or anyone else that I could consider a number 1. They're not leaving their jobs, dumbass.
Well, it's special
Like,
teams.
they're
Well,
not
why would
leaving
Mike?
their jobs.
Okay,
I mean,
so Mike Eckler's
they're
number
getting
8.
paid well and they're succeeding. Why would
Okay.
they leave?
So then, why are you beating the drum for Mike Eckler? Tennessee, he's pretty dang good.
Because Tennessee He sees a lot of upward
Hey.
movement at Nebraska for special teams.
Easy.
Why
choice,
can't
number one.
the 1 through 7
Hey.
see the upward movement?
Hey, easy. We have an in already. Number 1 is Kentucky. Let's just go get another coach.
Yeah,
There you go. There you go.
What's up with Kentucky? Hey, Ken Nebraska, Nebtucky,
Sure.
Is that word?
Nebtucky. What's a
Nebtucky.
Nebtucky? I like Nebtucky.
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 I'm just saying
That
the only
sounds
reason
like
why you know Eckler's because he's Nebraska. That's it.
I don't think
fine.
anyone is going to really know who the special teams coordinator is until they put that graphic up on the,
Right.
and then they send out the thing, and then we're going to overanalyze it and look at the
We're gonna
stats
love
and-
him.
We're gonna
It
love
is-
him, of course.
It
Or
is
her.
it is certainly one of those positions where they post them and they're like, who?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
You do the
So,
wiki. You do the wiki. You run through the wiki.
Oh, I'll go on the Red Sea Scrolls and see what
Yeah.
they say. They probably
Yeah.
got some good names.
Hey,
they
I haven't
they're
had this,
probably they're probably cooking.
The suspense on this hire hasn't been as hot as it was when Gary Sharp was looking for a new co-host. As everybody was speculating.
Oh
on that.
yeah, I'm sure.
So,
I'm sure
it was crazy.
There was a palpable
Then
buzz.
guess what? They hired Matt McMaster, and that's what Matt Rule's going to do. He's going to hire a guy
Yeah,
totally.
everybody
that
was like,
nobody's
who the
on the
fuck
radar.
is this
Yeah.
guy? They're like, the fuck? He doesn't even have a bio. What's his LinkedIn? His LinkedIn hasn't been updated in 8 months.
But he does have a 3.73 GPA.
I do. At a boy. Way to look at the LinkedIn.
Yeah, man.
That's like a 3.58 now, but I'm never
Let's
changing
go.
it. We're never going to change that thing.
Were you trying to do a little segue there, Mike?
No, I was just having
Oh.
fun with it.
Because, dude, I'm looking at the freaking time, and it's already 7 o'clock.
No way.
Yeah.
It's already been an
Yeah,
hour.
Time flies.
He's
All right,
And we
It's
didn't talk about the
fine.
defense. We didn't talk about
What do
like,
we need
more
to say
transfers.
Can we talk about defense real quick?
Yeah.
Vincent Shavers
Please do.
is a fucking dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's all we have to fucking say.
Did
The
he-
guy's a fucking
well, Ty
animal.
Robinson's a freaking
Yeah,
dog.
hold
Ty
on.
Robinson's a dog. He should
Yeah.
get drafted in the second round.
Did Vincent Shavers almost get charged with homicide during that bowl
What a
game?
hit.
That was a good hit.
We love it.
Bullock had one too. Where I'm
Mhm.
like,
Oh yeah.
God dang. It
Yeah.
was good. Vincent Shavers a dog. McGahee's a dog. Donovan
Jones.
dog. Caleb Benning, dog. We need safeties. We'll figure it out. I think we're going to be okay in that regard.
Well, Caleb's a safety. I think
Yeah.
hopefully they'll develop him.
Williams Winery.
Yeah.
It's
That's
gonna
close
be great.
enough.
It's going to be great.
It's gonna be great. Off-season Kool-Aid.
It's going to be
I was gonna
incredible.
say, you're literally just
Get
doing
to
I mean,
what
it.
you
no,
did.
there's not a whole lot we got to say about defense. The defense is good.
You're not worried about John Butler.
I'm not worried about anything. I'm not worried about anything about that defense.
Well, here's the
Everything
thing.
is great.
Everything's great. I'm not worried at all about it. In good coaching, we trust. They have a ton of talent. Marquez Watson Trent. I always love a 3-name guy.
Mm.
Whenever a guy's got 3 names, that's my dude. I love it. We've lost a couple
MWT.
in the last couple of seasons. We've lost a couple of the 3-name guys. I'm glad that we recaptured that as well. I also love a Van. We need like a Van
Van.
Ginkel, a Van Jefferson, a Van something on the team.
Van Horn.
Yeah. We also need, I've always said this, like if you're going to have a really good defense, you need to have at least one Samoan on the,
Mhm.
on the,
I agree.
like you need to have at least one, preferably 2, no more than 2, just 1 to 2.
We need that
Samoan.
poly pipeline.
Yeah.
Well,
we
we
need
got to
that
be
pop.
careful with that because, like, I see, Sua Lefotu. is
Well,
on the
there
roster.
you go.
And
No,
it's
no, no.
like, okay, like,
Sue was there.
what's
We're
his
great.
nationality exactly? I don't want to
Well,
just say he's.
He's Hawaii. He was from
Samoan,
Hawaii.
or
He's from
whatever.
Hawaii.
So
He's
I got to be
Polynesian.
sensitive here. I
No,
don't know.
He's Polynesian. If I get canceled for that, I mean, it's
I mean,
gonna
we
be-
we had the king of polys on our
Frickin'
show.
A.
So.
yeah.
Tony Finotti.
Tony Finotti.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
A real question: are we too late to the white DB game?
Yeah, I think we are.
Did,
And
we, did we miss?
I
that
want no
stretch?
part. I really want no
no,
part
I
in
think
that.
that's an Iowa thing.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to be like Iowa at all. Actually, we play them
I'm
in
sorry,
basketball
dude,
tomorrow.
you're-
Fuck Iowa.
Okay, hold on.
The Nebraska
If-
football
if
head
we
coach
got-
really wants to be like Iowa. I mean,
I agree
there's
with
that.
there's a lot. I mean, he talked a lot about that team in the last couple of lost seasons. But, I think he's pivoted since then with how he's built the program. Continue,
If
Connor.
you're saying like you don't want to be like Iowa, if you're telling me you didn't want a guy like Cooper DeJean, you're a liar.
DeJean,
Yeah.
not a safety. You guys know that
He'll
song?
lock
No,
down
I've never
your-
heard that.
You're number one.
Yeah,
DeJean is CB1.
yeah. I'm like
It's a
Okay.
great song.
it just
The rare white DB who's
Yeah,
damn good.
him and Reed Blankenship, exciting whites.
there are
Exciting
four
whites.
Yeah.
there are 4 white DBs in the NFL right now that are all ripping it up. It's
Riley
crazy.
Moss.
Well, yeah,
He's
Moss,
pretty good.
Blankenship, DeJean. Who am I missing?
That's all 3 of them.
I think
There's
I was
there's
I
one
think I
more.
hit 'em
There's
all.
one more.
I think that was it.
Will Compton is he still in the league?
No, Will
No.
Compton is technically a person.
Yeah. So 3 exciting whites in the whole fucking
So
league.
excited.
So much excite.
Great success.
Great success.
Yes, very nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here we go.
Great success.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, speaking of defensive backs, you guys, I want y'all to take a guess at how many defensive backs that they have on the roster right now.
20. Or I think it's 23.
That's
a lot.
Anybody else?
I think it's 23.
29.
Oh,
29.
29.
Where is that portal? The portal attrition is going to happen in the DB room.
It
Can I
will.
piss you guys off?
Sure.
Please.
Okay. So I'm going to say this tomorrow on the radio. So everyone on the camera, you're going to get an exclusive right here before 1620 The Zone gets really mad about what I'm going to say. But they went ahead this transfer portal cycle. So I went back, I did some research. In 2023, they had 0 non-Power 5 transfers. Okay. Last year, they had 2 non-Power 5 transfers.
Right.
This year, Matt Rule has gone out and gotten 5 non-Power 5 transfers.
Mhm.
Okay. He is now prioritizing getting guys who aren't coming from the Power 5, who've had production before in their last stop. Jalen
Mhm.
George, Jameer Khan, the guy from Idaho, and
The 3-name guy.
Marquez Watson Trent, and then the long snapper, which is kind of just a throw in.
We
there.
need him, though.
Kevin
He's the
Gallup.
most important one.
Hey, he's went out and got 5 of them.
Yeah.
Has Kurt Signetti
Yes.
affected that?
Yes.
Like, do
Big
you
Sig,
like?
baby.
Yeah, I think Signetti, like having that success in Indiana, has made Rule and other coaches be like, "Oh shit, like,
Yeah.
we could do that.
Yeah.
Like, that is something that can happen."
Listen,
Yeah.
Signetti on an interview at one point, like right before the playoff game, he was like, look, I go out and I find guys that proved that they can produce.
Yes.
Not guys that I think, they might be good someday. No, he goes out and find guys that have already had production. And that is exactly your point.
I legitimately think that Signetti just bringing the ragtag volunteer James Madison Dukes over to Indiana and winning 11 games, like, made coaches like Matt Rule be like, shit.
Damn.
Like, okay, like I can go and get a Jalen George or a Watson Trent. Like, and this is a program that has rooted themselves in measurables. We're
Yeah.
going to go and get, I mean, Jeremiah Charles was a good basketball player. And they were like, all right, you're going to come play football.
Yeah.
You know, like they went and got these guys because they're great at track. And they're like, we'll teach you how to play football. Bryce Turner, I don't know how much football he played. He was a track guy in Texas.
Fucking 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, now I think because Sig had this success, I really do think Matt's like, yeah, I'm gonna go get these.
yeah. Oh, you were a first team all Sun Belt?
Yeah.
Sure. Come
You're
on in.
Sun Belt player, but even Jalen George he was just a solid Eastern, Michigan player. All right, we'll bring you in.
Bring him in.
With the JUCO eligibility differentiation now.
That's cool.
I mean, that's
Great
going to be
point,
a lot
Connor.
different now, too.
It will be. It will
Yeah.
be a ton different.
And
now.
dude, with talent being so widespread and getting more widespread, whenever you have a player that makes first team Sun Belt,
yes,
listen, I'm not saying he's playing against world beaters, but you're still playing against really good
You're
competition.
still producing.
do you know what football is?
like playing football.
Football's football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tackling and blocking.
Yeah.
How do you get really good at something?
You play football.
You just do it.
You play football,
And you
So
get good.
it's like it's
Yeah.
it's a little faster. They're a little bigger.
Yeah.
they're a little stronger.
Mhm.
But if you played enough, you're gonna be okay. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna be fine.
Well, not to mention our 3-name linebacker
Yes.
is, he's had success against Nebraska. He had double-digit tackles
Yeah.
against Nebraska.
Yeah.
He had 8 tackles against Wisconsin.
That's right.
Like, he's played against Power 5 schools, and he has been the guy that led the team in tackles.
MWT.
We got
Love
MWT.
MWT.
for Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten.
MWT for DPOTY.
I think a lot of people said it about O'Shawn Mathis too.
A lot of people. I don't think MWT is going to be an O'Shawn. I think.
There
we go. I don't want to rat on O'Shawn. How did this become an O'Shawn thing? I like O'Shawn.
You said it. You're
O'Shawn-
the one who brought him up.
O'Shawn was a good player. O'Shawn had a hell of a game against Iowa in the last game of the year to go 4-8 and win the what do we call that again? The Heroes Trophy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
He was a hero.
He
In
was
that
the
game.
hero.
I'm not a big fan of the whole rivalry trophy games.
I like trophies.
I love him.
Yeah,
It's the only time we ever get to hoist them, and we don't really hoist them
Fair
anyway.
enough.
So
I don't know. I didn't really grow up a college football guy, so it's still kind of
not
like a
Northwestern,
weird-
man. Like,
No,
what
I
the-
mean-
Well, you're Chicago. That's not a listen.
No, I went to Northwestern
Pro-
games. My dad went to Northwestern, so I am a Northwestern fan. But the Northwestern was more of a like, Dad wanted to get a beer on a Saturday, so we went to Ryan Field. You know, like, it wasn't really like
their new stadium's even more like that.
It's gonna be great. I cannot wait. They're gonna have like a tailgating area. When I go and visit there, it's gonna be awesome.
So you got the place when we go to a road
Sure.
game against Northwestern.
Sure. Why
We're gonna
not?
go
Shit.
tailgate with the McMaster.
My parents would
crew.
love you. You guys would think it'll fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll just get to stay at the Holiday Inn. You're not gonna stay in my childhood bedroom.
What?
Like, we're not gonna stay in
I
Skokie.
can sleep on the floor.
You'll stay in Skokie. You can stay in Skokie is actually probably the cheapest place you can get to that's close enough to Evanston to go to games. It's
There
only
you
like
go.
10, 15 minutes away from Evanston. I think we're like 13 minutes away from Ryan Field.
I've been to Evanston 3 times.
Right? Yeah,
So,
Evanston's fine.
It's bleh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
there.
It's a thing.
It cannot be worse than West Lafayette. I don't think there's anything worse
That
than West
town
Lafayette.
sucked. It wasn't great.
Is Purdue like? Was that a nice campus at least?
I mean, it was
a campus.
It was a college campus. The
Yeah.
thing that was weird about it was like directly right around the stadium, there was no tailgates. You had to like walk
Nothing.
like 2 blocks, 3 blocks down the road, and then it was just like a
Really?
big grass field, and that's where the
hill
tailgates were.
That just kept going
And
higher. And
that
higher.
was it. Like,
Yeah, I
It was
don't like
weird.
Notre Dame, but they have a hell of a tailgate setup.
I believe
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I
They know
believe
what
it
they're doing.
100%.
It's incredible.
You would get into the bars like in West Lafayette, and you're like, oh yeah, like what do you guys think about the game tomorrow? And like, dude, basketball season's looking great. No,
I know.
well, that was another thing too. Was like we couldn't find a bar that wasn't made for 18-year-olds.
Well, and I got
Well,
fucked. Remember, I
well.
ordered that drink, and they charged me like $30 for it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Yeah, can I get a Long Island?" Everybody's got these mini pictures of Long
Yeah.
Island. I was like, "Can I get one of those?" And she knew I was wearing like Husker stuff, and she just knew it. And so she's like, "Oh yeah," she like ran my card and then just like handed me back the receipt to sign. So she already ran it. And I look at it, it was like $32. I'm like,
No way.
there's no way in hell these college kids are paying $32 for those.
No.
Yeah, I find out later on, like, oh yeah, these are $8. I don't know what you did.
Yeah, I know.
West.
That's like $6 over at
Yeah.
Brothers on it.
So
yeah.
fuck West Lafayette.
Yeah.
I will say
It was at Brothers.
Well, yeah, it was. Who else is serving
Yeah.
Long Island iced tea pitchers? Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I will say this isn't us shitting on West Lafayette tonight.
well,
The-
go
the
ahead.
fans-
Go ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
The fans, like the actual people in West Lafayette, were very fun.
Yeah.
They were very, very nice. The town sucks. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
was-
they know that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
It was just very. It
Even
was
they
just.
know they're miserable.
Well, they thanked us for coming there. Thanks for
you for
coming.
coming.
Thanks for coming to our shithole. You're welcome.
Even our Uber driver's like, yeah.
Why were you here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, back to Kyle's comment about no 18 bars. I mean, that's UNL too. Like
Yeah.
Lincoln doesn't have that. I mean, Lincoln gets fun when you turn 21.
Yeah.
Before that, it's okay. It's fun. It's great. I
It's
love
fun.
I love going to the University of Nebraska. I loved it. It was the
Yeah.
greatest 4 years of my life. When I turned 21, it became so much better.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on.
Became
You
awesome.
went to Nebraska.
I went to Nebraska.
So you and I are the only two in this room that did.
Really? I assumed. Okay,
No,
cool.
no.
Yeah.
I went to
Okay.
Iowa Western.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I went
so-
to JUCO route.
Tell me you got your years in the bottoms.
No, I didn't. I was at Aden for 3 years.
Aiden's not bad though.
I paid-
Aiden's not
I
bad. But
paid
you didn't go to the
decent rent.
bottoms at all.
No, I was in the Haymarket, man. I was paying good rent in the Haymarket. We go
Not to
McKinney-
tailgate. You
No,
didn't go to the
went to McKinney's to tailgate. If we, I mean, I
Shit.
worked. I
You're-
worked a lot of the games, but when I wasn't working the games, I would go. First route was right to McKinney's. Go and get yourself a trash can. Really
Yeah.
hammer that. Get your vodka. Get your Red Bull in. Really get your blue carousel. Get yourself revving. Right. Then I would move directly over to Barry's. Go to Barry's. You got to get yourself a double lemonade whiskey. Okay. That's really going to set it in. It's really going to be like, okay, like I'm buzzing. Then you got to walk back over to the Canopy Street Market. Okay. When you go to the
Okay.
Canopy Street Market, you get yourself 4 Jim Beam shooters. Okay.
Oh my.
You just kind of
Okay.
keep those.
You keep them handy.
Just keep them in your socks. Keep them in your socks. Keep them in your belt, what a belt loop or whatever. Then you go over to the North Stadium lot. I was lucky enough to have friends of mine who had tailgates there. You don't get drunk. You don't hammer beers. It's social hour. You have a nice little red Solo cup. You walk around. You talk to your buddy. You're sipping on your drink. All right, it's half an hour, 45 minutes before the game. Let's walk on in there. Cross your fingers. You get through. You got your 4 shooters. In your pockets or in your socks or whatever. You go and get yourself a coffee. Okay. Pour
Whoa.
yourself the coffee. Okay.
There you
Have
go.
a nice little Irish coffee in the stands.
Okay.
And then you enjoy yourself a very exciting 28-24 win or loss against
Loss.
the Big Ten team.
Loss.
Probably a loss.
I had this in the pocket.
I did that for 4 games, by the way. It's not like I'm an expert, but I'm a very itinerary
It was
guy.
detailed.
That was I did that every single time. That's exactly how I did it. It worked for me. I loved it.
The second that you said, I think you said lemonade whiskey. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Um, I had it in the pocket as soon as you said that. Have you ever seen a therapist?
Yeah.
That's a very personal question.
You might
I
need
haven't.
to.
No, my mother wants me to though.
We do host a show called Cornisher Counseling. You might have to sit.
I would love to get my feet up, lay back. I got back problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to get on a recliner. But no,
That is a
I don't do-
crazy take.
What do you mean lemonade whiskey?
Lemonade whiskey?
Hell yeah. What do you mean? They now sell the Crown Royale like in the can lemonade whiskey.
No, you just get a well whiskey and a Coke. You don't order a Jack
You
and
can't
Coke.
tell me what to do or what to drink.
That's
Tom.
fair. I'm not your real
You
mom.
can't exactly.
I'm not your real mom.
lemonade whiskey's a nice drink. I'm not saying pickle juice and whiskey.
Lemonade whiskey is an
and
insane move.
No, it ain't. That's regular.
Can anyone in this room right now raise your hand?
Chat. I defer to chat. One's in the chat.
Lemonade whiskey.
One's in the
I've had
chat.
lemonade whiskey
If you've had
before.
lemonade
Somebody
whiskey.
in there has a lemonade whiskey.
I've
up there?
had lemonade and gin.
Lemonade and gin is great.
Also
lemonade.
fine.
Gin,
Lemonade gin.
That's a different liquor.
Lemonade
I'm
and
just
gin's
saying.
awesome.
It is a different.
Gin and
Lemonade and
whiskey are
vodka
very
done
different.
Lemonade and vodka. Lemonade and everything. Lemonade's a great
There it
amount.
is.
It's a good
Whiskey?
mixer. It's kind of like a superior mixer.
It is
Uh,
a superior mixer.
I
Now
would
I
agree
don't
with
do
that.
it anymore because I got real chunky and you had to
You're-
dial back.
Hey,
a little
right.
bit.
You're a handsome man.
Calories.
Leave
Thank you.
yourself
I
alone.
appreciate
Well, because he
Thank you,
cut
Kyle.
back on it.
I cut back.
Now he's handsome.
I
If
was
he
210. I'm now like 180.
There-
Wow. Yeah, I know.
So,
I
so
had-
next time, sugar-free lemonade.
No, I just do Diet Coke now. Just Diet
yeah.
Coke.
So
Whiskey,
there's
yeah.
one that I get really weird about. I get questioned about this previously. Mountain Dew and whiskey.
Hell no. That's
Mountain Dew is literally made for whiskey.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It's the whole point
That
of
was
it.
like
it was
the-
developed
yeah,
for whiskey.
it was-
I
really.
tried it for the
Wait,
first
you're
time.
fucking.
no, it really
No,
was.
I'm really
it was
not.
created to be a mixer for whiskey.
Shit. I
Yeah.
gotta do that now.
Yep.
I
No,
tried
be
it
fat.
one time, like a year and a half ago. It actually is, and I don't even really drink liquor anymore. I'm a
Yeah.
beer guy through and through.
Shitty.
Mountain Dew and whiskey. I'm
He's drinking
that's
a
our
Pilsner.
sponsor.
Get 'em
sir.
going, get 'em
Nebraska
going.
Brewing Company is world class, and
Every goddamn glass. And
Yeah,
yes, it's
Mike.
verbatim.
This is great. I know it says banana, but it's pear. This is a pear.
no. So do you know there's no banana in that beer?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
there's
there's
pear.
He thinks there's pears in there.
Probably pears in
No, there's no pears in it. There's no fruit in that beer.
Probably pears. Probably
No.
put some pears in here.
The only fruit about that beer is the guy.
Don't you see? It says
I don't even
fresh
make 'em.
pear juice right under, right here. Freshly squeezed pears.
pretty
That
good.
doesn't
Amazing.
say that.
This is awesome.
Pear
Like,
lemonade.
This is like
That's
I'm
that
actually,
lemonade and whiskey
I-
that's making you read that.
Yeah, maybe. I'm gonna actually go and buy myself a 6-pack of this stuff. Like this is actually a
Good.
great beer. I don't mean to
We'll
you
just
know.
have you come into the brewery and you get a nice full tour of the largest
Oh,
brewery
yeah.
in the state of Nebraska.
Sure.
yeah. I know
Well,
a guy who can
I'm-
do that.
I live by one of those cross-strain brewery. I have to go and do. I know it's not the same.
Dude, you know that's
I have
like
to do it.
that's like less than a mile from our brewery.
Yeah, you live
Oh,
right next
really?
to the brewery.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
on
okay.
108th and Harrison, La Vista, Nebraska,
Guys,
right across from
guys,
Rotellas.
I don't. I just.
He doesn't know
moved
the
here. I
number of
don't. I
streets.
don't know anywhere. I don't know.
Landmarks.
I know-
landmarks.
I
You know
know-
where Cabela's is?
No, I know nothing about this place. I just
if you
moved
live
here
next
a
to
couple
that
days ago.
brewery, you live 1 mile from Nebraska.
I
Brewing
live on
Company.
Dodge. I live.
Oh, you
on-
live far.
I live
yeah,
on
that's
Dodge.
not 1 mile, but
Yeah.
you live somewhat close to
I
Nebraska.
live on
Brewing
Dodge.
Company.
I only know Dodge. It's the only road I've been on. That's,
Get out of Dodge.
that's
Go
a good
see
one.
something
okay.
else.
I see what you did there.
All right.
Gotcha.
All right, guys.
All right. We're
Hey, just real quick.
We're way over
While-
probably.
yes, while we're gallivanting around talking about lemonades and
Yeah.
Timmer ratings, we have a thing called Trust in Matt Rule rating.
Okay.
So we call it Timmer rating.
Timmer.
You won't get canceled.
'Kay.
Okay. After UCLA, I was at an all-time low.
Yeah.
I was at, I think it was a 2.
You were at a 2.
I was at a 2.
Yes, you were.
I'm sitting. God, I'm so mid. I'm sitting at a 5 right now.
Madison.
Maybe slightly higher. Maybe you're like a 5.3.
You need to commit to one number. You can't give us 2. You need to commit.
Why? That's how you got the guesser award. You get to commit to 2.
Well, you made me
bitch.
guess a second. My first guess was right.
Don't get him started, Mike.
5.3.
Beautiful.
Are we at Matt Rule rating in terms of confidence? He's gonna
What's your trust
keep
in him?
winning. Oh, what's his
How much do you trust him out of 10?
6.7?
Okay, he's almost a 7. KB, what you got?
Mine has raised since UCLA.
Indeed.
Um,
I mean, it has to.
and you know what? I'm at a comfortable 7.5.
Okay.
Like I'm
Wow.
happy with everything that has
high.
happened.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm happy with everything that's happened. He is on the trajectory that we all have talked from the minute that he got here, and looking at all of his past stops, he is on the exact trajectory for what he has done in the past.
Yeah.
So 11 wins.
Yeah.
That
that is a trajectory, right? You
Technically.
he won 4 games or 5 games. He won 5 games, and then he wins 7. And what is it next year? He's moving up. Okay,
Hopefully
so
7 or 8.
It's got to be 8.
So I am not quite as optimistic as Kyle.
Okay.
Although my rating has moved up. I believe the last time we visited Timmer ratings, I was a 6.
Yeah.
I was between a 6.4 and a 6.5, and I am going to give him a 6.5.
Okay.
Right on.
I'm at a 6. I was at a 6 after I think after UCLA and everything, because I figured he was going to make the right hires. I liked him hiring Dana, so I'm going to stay at a 6. I'm not going to change no matter what happens in this offseason. He's just going to be a 6. That's it.
Yeah,
until I see
love
them
that,
play
Mike.
football.
I love that.
See, I'm not
He's taking a
wishy-washy.
stand.
No,
I'm
yeah.
not wishy-washy at all.
No, you're not a wishy-washy fuck at all.
person I've ever met.
No, I'm a 6.
You dodgy boy.
Wishy-washy, Mike. That's what I call him.
That's what I call him.
That's what I call him.
And I think the biggest thing is like, yes, he's making these great hires, and he's adding talented transfer portal additions, and their recruiting has been pretty good. It's just I can't get past the in-game stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Well, he's
That's
gonna
my
have
biggest-
Neither can they.
Yeah, no
Fuck.
kidding.
clock management. He's going to have to hire a guy to tell him when
By
to
the-
call timeouts or
By
when
the,
to challenge.
by the way, BS.
Mm.
You're getting paid
Ooh.
$70 million a year.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fitfo.
Yeah.
Fitfo.
Figure it.
I will do clock management for $90,000 a year. I will
Wow.
literally only worry about the
BA
clock.
said he would do it for free.
Hey, coach, call timeout here. Hey, Coach Gruden, go for it. Go for it here, Coach Gruden.
Yeah.
So he'll be in the. Are you doing press conferences after games?
Oh, that'd be great. I'd love to see you on the stand.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what. I would. I don't think any Husker fan would like to hear me on the stand after a game. So be like, why didn't you take a time out there? I'd be like, oh, why is your hair suck, dork? It just wouldn't address the question at all.
Now, Sean. hey. Now, Sean.
Got to be
Yeah.
careful here.
I said timeout. I told him to take a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why's your tire flat? It's not. Yeah, I sliced that bitch in the parking lot.
I knew you were
Shut
gonna
the fuck
ask
up.
me. I knew you were gonna ask me a really stupid question. So
Yeah, I'm
I did
slashing
the-
tires.
That's right.
I'd say that.
Hey, I'll tell you what. 90,000 for me. I'll give each of you $5,000 to slash tires for anybody who asks me a hard question.
I'm friends with all those people, so I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
they
have
all
to.
call into your
Gary
radio.
Sharp's
yeah.
tires
Yeah,
getting
no.
Hey, that
Sean,
saves me
Gary-
$5,000. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, I'm okay. I do know what. Never mind.
All right.
Hey, people out there, you know, you see this guy. He's funny.
Thank you.
He does a radio show every morning with Gary Sharp from 6 until 10.
Yes. Gary and Matt, 1620 Zone, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Where can
Go and
people follow you? Where can people see that beautiful Walt Jr. picture of yours?
Matt at Matt McMedia, MattMcmedia. Matt McMedia.
Matt
If you want to email me, Matt at 1620thezone.com. Just send me your comments or whatever. Maybe we get them on the show. Yeah, listen to 1620. So we've been doing it now. This is like the third-ish week technically because we, just all the shows and the ancillary stuff that we've done. But yeah, we're kind of getting it rolling here. We're taking baby steps into the full what the full thing will be. But we're moving ahead. We love it. It's having a great time. Gary's funny. I'm funny. Jimmy's having a blast behind the board. And come and listen. Have a good time. And I love talking to fans. Tweet at me, email at me, call the show, whatever. Just love interacting with people. So I really appreciate you guys having me on. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah, this is a
Time
blast.
flies by, man.
It does fly, and you'll come back on.
I will for
We
sure
love
come back
recurring guests.
Yo,
And
I'm
I mean,
here.
we'll maybe get closer to the season so that we can see
Absolutely.
about how much Kool-Aid we have between now and when
you're
we
gonna
get
see me in 6 months because that just
there. Red.
bags under the eyes
Yeah.
and just like looking like Rick, like after he lost his wife, Rick and Morty. Just
Yeah.
coming out.
Hey, you
It's gonna
think
be
Jared
brutal.
looks like that for no reason?
Fuck.
What? Who do you look
Yeah,
like?
what do I go on?
Who? Shit.
Disheveled?
No, he looks good. It's a nice beard.
Thank you.
Connor, stop being negative, man.
Fucking mustache.
He's already soulless. You know, you can't be that mean to him.
That's the key.
That was
That's the key.
unprompted, by the way.
And he drives a red
Okay.
Kia Soul.
I drive a red. Hey, can you not?
Do you really? You drive a red Kia Soul?
No, I drive a red. I drive a red car.
No,
not
he drives a red Kia Soul.
You drive a red Kia
No,
Soul.
I don't. It's a
So that's
Jeep.
the only Soul he's
Yeah,
got.
it's a Jeep Renegade.
Same thing.
And his license plate is.
And his address is. All right, let's
Yeah,
sign off.
Jesus, man. Oh, this was not a good end to the show. Jeez. All right, hey, go follow us. NBNR podcast. We make it easy for you. It's the same handle on every damn social media site we're on. We talk Husker athletics, and we didn't even get the basketball.
Beat Iowa.
Man,
A quick basketball spot. They did get 62 votes. They are tied for 27th right now. It's bullshit. They should be top
They're
25.
Nate
Just
Nate
win.
Lesnar, keep him forever.
Yeah.
Keep him forever.
Love it.
He's incredible.
okay. Yes, beat Iowa. It doesn't need to happen. Doesn't need to,
I want
but it'd
it.
be very, very nice.
I want it.
Anything else? Any other plugs? Blah, blah, blah.
Nope.
Okay. I'm one of your hosts, Jared Hall.
Mike Delaware.
Connor Cavalack.
Kyle Byers.
Matt McMaster.
There, look at that point.
Saturday Night Live.
As always, beat Iowa in GBR.